Hey, baby. I hope you're having a good day. I've had a couple of meetings today and, been in and out of doing stuff, but things are going pretty good. I was going to share what I was thinking about and some that I've been reading in the Bible earlier today. And it's funny because what I started with is not where I ended up. Um, I've been thinking for a couple of days about, and it kind of ties in with, I told you about um, the guy that going from relationship to no relationship and hurting and basically wanting to rebound and having that conversation about that's not the way to live your life and whatever, and thinking about the influences we have around us. American culture is very much just satisfy every desire. Don't be lame if you're trying to say don't do something because it's not what God says. That's not cool. Sound like a high school after school special, don't I? Anyway, what I've been thinking about with that, I've been going back to in Joshua, and I thought it was earlier in the book. Actually, it's in Joshua chapter 24. It's the very end of the book. Um, but it says Joshua summoned all the tribes of Israel. In verse 2, it says, Joshua said to the people, "This is what the Lord, the God of Israel, says. Long ago, your ancestors, including Terah, the father of Abraham, and Nahor, lived beyond the Euphrates River, and they worshipped other gods. But I took your ancestor Abraham from the land beyond the Euphrates and led him into the land of Canaan. I gave him many descendants through his son Isaac. To Isaac I gave Jacob and Esau. To Esau I gave the mountains of Seir, while Jacob and his children went down into Egypt." And then there's several verses where it kind of details the history of Israel, and we can skip through some of that. And where is it? Yes, down here, verse 15. He says, "But if you refuse to serve the Lord, then choose today whom you will serve. Would you prefer the gods your ancestors served beyond the Euphrates, or will it be the gods of the Amorites in whose land you now live? But as for me and my family, we will serve the Lord." And that's what I've been thinking about. I've been thinking about how, even though it's not gods, it's the idea of idols can be anything that distracts you away from God, right? So that's what I've been mulling over. But it was this beginning that I read to you where he said, this is back in verse 2. "Long ago, your ancestors, including Terah, the father of Abraham and Nahor, lived beyond the Euphrates River, and they worshipped other gods." So even Abraham, who we think of as like the father of the whole nation that is God's inheritance, that Christ came through, the faith comes through. We read about, and I've got a couple places marked, like Romans chapter 4, verse 22. Or actually, verse 20. Let's see. Yeah. "Abraham never wavered in believing God's promise. In fact, his faith grew stronger, and in this he brought glory to God." Now, that's, in my opinion, amazing faith and devotion if you bring glory to God instead of God showing through you. I know it went both ways, but to be able to be listed that way, I feel like says a lot about not who you are, but how much you let God work through you and how devoted and focused you are on Him. It says, "He was fully convinced that God is able to do whatever He promises, and because of Abraham's faith, God counted him as righteous." So, we got that. And then, what was the other? It was Exodus. Yeah, so in Exodus chapter 3, verse 15, I'm going back and forth. What I'm looking at now is my topical analysis of the Bible. So it's got all kinds of different topics in here, and this is in the person of God. And then it's got different verses listed for the different things. So I'm just going to read from that. Exodus chapter 3, verse 15, it says, God also said to Moses, say to the Israelites, the Lord, the God of your fathers, the God of Abraham, the God of Isaac, and the God of Jacob, has sent me to you. This is my name forever, the name by which I am to be remembered from generation to generation. So this dude is in another land and not intentionally serving the wrong God, but he's serving other gods, worshiping other gods. God plucks him out of essentially idol worship and says, I'm going to use you. And it wasn't anything he did specifically. It was just being faithful to God and God's plan. And look what he turned into, and how much God has thought of him, and how much has been written of him in the Bible. You know, he's kind of like, his faith not only got counted as righteousness, but he gets listed as, I am the God of Abraham. This is my name to be remembered through the generations. And that hit me in a different way this morning. I was like, man, it doesn't matter where we are, where we start from, what we've done. When God calls us, if we just respond, answer, and let him work through us, don't try to take control, just trust in him. You know, Abraham was an old man, got told he was going to have a kid, and then still waited years before it happened. But he was faithful. So for me, that was a good message, just to, no matter what's going on, trust in God. God's got a plan. And we may not see it. I'm sure Abraham went years and said, I don't see how this is possible. But the promise was still fulfilled. So for me, that's a good reminder that no matter what's going on, trust that his plan is better than mine. And even though I like to be in control, I don't need to be. That said, I guess that's enough for today. I'm looking forward to seeing you later. And I need to measure your wrist again. I forgot it was 6 inches and something, but I pulled out my paracord last night and I thought I couldn't even begin to tell you how big it was. Maybe 6.25. So I want to measure you again before I start trying to make anything. Anyway, I love you and I will see you later.